Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Magnificent Miss Marvel, issue number 16. I liked this book for the most part. Had a problem with the art. I'm going to talk about that and a bunch of other things in this comic book. First, let's give credit where credit's due. Writer is Saladin Ahmed. The artist is Minkyu Young. Ian Herring does the colors, and the letters are done by VC's Joe Caramagna. Edward Petrovic does the cover, and graphic design by Carlos Lau. I hope I didn't butcher anybody's names. It's not my intent to do that. The first 2 pages in this comic book were the basic standard trope that you get for the most part, the one part of the story I didn't like was these first 2 pages, because it's just, here's Kamala, her parents are arguing and they're yelling at each other, there's a little kid who doesn't feel like she's being heard, and realistically she's just a little kid and she just wants something passed. It's like, dude, you're magnificent Miss Marvel, do and biggen, stretch your freaking arm and get the damn roti yourself, for crying out loud. It's bread. Get the freaking bread yourself, damn it. Anyway, to me, it was a really dumb thing to bother putting into there. It's like she could have easily gotten it herself. You know what I'm saying? But she just wanted to be heard, even though she was whispering, my God, stop. We've seen that so many times. The rest of the book, though, holy crap. The story was really good. You've got the actual way that kids act with each other when they don't have superpowers or otherwise, I guess. They're actually hanging out with each other, and everybody's got their own agenda, and they're trying to be nice to each other. They don't want to hurt each other's feelings, while at the same time they still got their own things going on in life, and they're trying to maintain their social connections because that's a part of their identity. And holy crap, this is so well written. I love it. The art in these first pages also really good. It's funny, these are usually the preview pages. It's later on where the art starts to get a little bit wonky. You know what I'm saying? After it's like, oh, no, these pages aren't going to be previewed, so whatever, you know? We do get later on stuff that happens in here. Also, guys, I'm sorry for the different format. When you see the next review that I post, this one, Champions Issue number 2, you'll understand why I did this format. I did that one before I did this one. I just wanted to get this one out of the way before I go back to what I'm doing in my real world, not the comic book world. Anyway, be sure to check that one out if you don't mind a very politically charged conversation. Not for the weak, not for people who get easily offended. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, but not for the easily offended. Anyway, bang, you got this stuff here. This is one of my favorite scenes in comic books, because this is stuff that happens in real life. I don't care if you love or hate the police. This is what the police are. You know what I'm saying? That's a commentary. It's not taking a side. You know what I'm saying? You have the police. Hey, their job is to protect and serve. That's the mission statement. You know what I'm saying? But after that, their actual jobs entail doing what they're told to do and protecting property and breaking up fights and keeping the peace. That's the jobs of the police. You are not allowed to lie to the police. That's actually an offense. You can go to jail just for lying to the police. Meanwhile, the police are allowed to lie bold-faced to you. It's a part of their job. Is it good? Arguable. Is it, legal? Yes. Is it fair? No. Is it legal, though? That's the big, important part. Yes, it's 100% legal. So, you know what I'm saying? You don't like it, fight it. Literally, fight it, All that being what it is, their job is not to represent you. Their job is to represent the municipality or the province or the government or the state, whatever. So they come in and here's the shop owner and they present an edict from themselves. Like, this is a mandate from within, an internal mandate. Hey, go and investigate go and ask, do some questioning and ask the owner of the juice bar, ZZZ, The owner, however, says straight up, hey, this isn't a warrant. This is for you guys. This is not for me. It's like, what are you, a lawyer, buddy? And the look on his face and everything, it was perfect. I don't like that the guy had to go into, well, yeah, I'm not a lawyer now, but I did study and, I did law work. Nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares. You talked too long. Just simply, point out, don't need to be. You know what I'm saying? But this does need to be a warrant for me to respond to you. That's the way that you respond to that kind of a question. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you respond to something like this happening. So this was just really long-winded. I don't need to know this other stuff about this dude. If you need me to know that he used to be a lawyer, one, it damn well better matter. Like, give me a reason later on in the comic book or later on in other comic books why it matters that he went to law school. Because right now it literally doesn't mean anything. Two, bring it up then. Don't bring it up now. Like, what is this, a hint for something? I'm just saying, you gave us a hint of something. This had better come up later on. This needs to come up later on. I do like some of the scenery in here, like the page prior to this, where she finds a seat and the guy in the back, he's like, "No, you bastard! I was going to get that seat." I love that. I absolutely love that. Like super, super ultra dramatic. Here's where I run into the problems with the comic book. I don't like Amulet. I don't know too much about the character himself. I have his first appearance because it's crucial. But like, this is a horribly drawn character. All right? I want you to let that sit for a little while. Guys, I'm not here to offend anybody. And I don't know Min-Kyu Jung and Ian Herring. I actually took a little bit of time to look them up briefly and whatever. They both individually do great work. And sometimes together they do great work to complement each other. But for the most part, the art in this comic book does not complement the art in this comic book. Sometimes the pencils are done really well, and then the colors will be done really well. Sometimes the pencils are done really well, and the colors are just like, here's a splotch. Sometimes the pencils are horrible, and it doesn't matter how good the colors are, because if you build a beautiful mansion, but you build it on mud, you're going to have a sunken mansion. You know, I mean, that's just the way that it works, you know? So, I mean, that's kind of an issue that I'm seeing with this book. The art is just done, it's done terrible. I'm not here to make fun of anybody. I'm not here to criticize anybody's personality or them as people. I'm simply pointing out that this artwork, it's not consistent. We're talking about visual mediums here. I knew I was going to talk about this, so I pulled out, here's 3 completely different novels. You know what I'm saying? You want to go with Batman? Nice, thick novel. Nowadays, this would go for twice the price of a comic book. But look at how much story you're getting in there. Look at all this story. How many comic books would this story be? 6 issues? A lot more than that? Depends on the novel. But you're getting a whole entire, for the most part, complete standalone story in here. If you got a trilogy, like in here, this is part 3 of a trilogy. You can argue it's a sextant because there's 2 trilogies that are codependent on each other. You know, actually the second one is dependent on this one. But anyway, look at how much story you're still getting in here. You could read just this alone and it's like, bang. You buy 3 of these and you've got a run. You know, so you got a whole run. Or you can even get a small book that will be talked about forever. And all of this for approximately twice the price of a comic book. That's what we're getting when we buy a novel. If you are charging me half the price of a novel for that much of a story plus ads, the only thing that's going to make me recognize that a comic book is something superior that I need to consider getting, that I'm willing to pay half as much for the price of a novel to get less than half of a story, I'm going to need the art to be pretty damn good. And in this, like I said, the line work is inconsistent and the colors are inconsistent. The only thing that's consistently good as far as the art is concerned is the first couple of pages, which would typically put up in a preview, in the preview pages that Marvel will release. And then when you get the comic book and you read past the preview and the art doesn't live up to the prior, there's a problem there that I'm seeing. This is just my opinion. If you like the art on this, I'm not disqualifying your tastes. You know what I'm saying? If you are the artists in question, Min-Kyu or Ian, I don't have anything personally against you guys. In fact, I've seen your art before and I think that it's great. In this book, however, in this issue, the thing that's going to make me fall off this comic book again is going to be the lack of good, solid art. I don't see consistency here. I just see like On this day, I had time, so I did a great job. But on this day, I was in a rush. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but this is my channel. In the days of Jim Shooter, this book never would have seen the light of day. Having nothing to do with the politics, because there were Captain America comic books that came out by Gruber back in the day that Saladin Ahmed has got nothing on. As far as like the politics in here, this is tame compared to like some of the X-Men stories that came out under Shooter's days. So it's not about the politics of it. But as far as the art is concerned, he never would have allowed this book to see the light of day. And that's just facts. You know what I'm saying? These are freelancers. He would have said, no, I'm not accepting this. I'm not paying for this to happen. You know what I'm saying? This is not what I asked for. Maybe he'd pay you and say, but we're not going to use the art and we're not going to use you. No. Art had to be consistent. It had to be consistent. And when he left, that's when you start to see issues with the art. That's where you start to see issues with story. That's where you start to see all sorts of issues. That's where you start to see the downhill of Marvel, which very quickly led to their bankruptcy, and also led to 10 of the best artists in the world, as far as comic books are concerned at the very least, leaving the company also. And all we're seeing is a repeat of history at this point. And that is so evident just in this issue alone. And again, nothing personal against the artists. I don't know them. I'm sure they're perfectly wonderful people. And I've seen their arts individually, and it's great. They both have the capability of making great art. But you don't get to have a bad day at work. You know what I'm saying? You get sent home early. Regular people get sent home early. Regular people don't get paid for that day. Regular people, you know what I'm saying, get fired from their jobs and things like that. I don't want anybody to be fired from their jobs. I don't want anybody to not get paid. What I do, however, want is for the art to be consistent every single time. No days off. You know what I'm saying? Cash Money Brothers from back in the WWE. Millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars. No days off. So that is the good and the bad of the comic book. I love so much of what I'm reading in this comic book. So much of the art is great. They introduce a character, Roul, in here, which I love. And yes, that's the proper Arabic pronunciation, Roul. It's not a sound in the English language. There are lots of sounds not in the English language. Deal with it. You can pronounce it ghoul if you want. That's actually where the word ghoul, like ghosts and ghouls, comes from. That's actually where that word comes from the Arabic Semitic word roul. And basically it's a kind of jinn, like the Ifrit is a strong jinn. Well, the shape changers of the jinn, yes, genie, but genie is plural. It's also not paying attention to the fact that it's called jinn, not shin, not gin. Anyways, it's not an alcoholic beverage. Jinn. It's anyway, whatever. Who cares, right? Pakistan as opposed to Pakistan. Who cares, right? Anyway, the Ghul is an actual really cool character or being, like race of species, whatever, of, no, race. It would be a race of the Jinn, the genie. And they're shape changers. And one of the most terrible things that they can ever do to a human being would be kind of like a reverse penance stare. They would show you their true visage. They would show you what their face really looks like, and it would give you PTSD for the rest of your life. I would love to see Saladin Ahmed doing a storyline where he has this Ghul, which is just a throwaway character in this, actually wind up being something special. And later on, you know, it's like, holy crap, he actually revealed, like, Kamala, you're a shape changer. I'm a shape changer too. And then he reveals his true face. And something that we can't even see. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't trust this art team. No, it's just I don't trust any artist ever. I don't trust freaking Jack Kirby, you know what I'm saying? Or Gene Colan. I don't trust them to do this. No, it's something that you should see the back of their head and the front of her face going, and just like whiting her out completely, like she has no idea what she's looking at. It's something that completely defies nature, and now she's got to overcome this, and she's got to be a superhero, even though she's seen this face. Like, oh my God, that would be amazing! That would be amazing! And like, how many stories you could tell of just this alone? Otherwise, it's just a stupid throwaway character, which who cares, right? Which one do you think I prefer? So like I said, I liked this. I think I liked more of the potential than anything else. I want to see more of this guy and like how his law degree matters. Chekhov's gun, right? Chekhov's gun. If in the first act I see a gun on the wall, by the third act that gun better have killed somebody. It better have went off at the very least. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see what happens with this lawyer. I want to see something else with the rule. And for the love of God, I want to keep reading the comic book, but the art is what's going to keep me away from it. So I need to see consistency in the art. These are both really, really solid artists. So freaking show it, and be on your A game all the time. Maybe you get a B game, but C game, C is a failure where I come from. No days off. Anyway, guys, go check it out and hope for the best. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Like the video, watch an ad. Class dismissed.